Bueller. Hello, Bueller. How's Bueller? Is he okay? Yeah. Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard to Meridics.com coverage of the Basketball League as we kick off the second season. Playoffs begin tonight in the Basketball League with Game 1 of the West Playoffs, featuring in their first ever postseason appearance the hometown Mesquite Desert Dogs and the defending league champions, hoping again to get a chance to win their title back, the Yakima Sunkings. Welcome to Virgin Valley High School. Again, the first time the Desert Dogs have been in playoff contention, and this first game of what could be a three-game series, the best of three here tonight in Mesquite. As for the remainder of the series, if it gets to Game 3, both of those games will be in Yakima starting tomorrow. Just heard from Desert Dog coach Carnell Wiley. They've got a 6 a.m. flight out of Vegas to head up towards the Tri-Cities up there, and they'll play tomorrow night at the Sun Dome to take on the Sun Kings, and if a Game 3 is necessary, that will be on Saturday night, with the 20th being that game. Speaking of April 20th, that is when the East Championship will be determined, at least Game 1 of that series, with the defending league runners-up, the Albany Patroons, and the Raleigh Firebirds getting their first playoff appearance as well. Raleigh will host Game 1 on Saturday. Then they will transition to Albany on the 23rd. That's a Tuesday. And if they need be, their Game 3 of that East Final would be next Wednesday, April the 24th. These are two teams that are very, very familiar with one another, as the Dogs and Yakima kicked off the 2019 TBL season back at the Rising Star Sports Ranch, and that Desert Dog team was able to win the first two games. But since those two victories, it's been all Yakima, and it's been all Yakima for about the last 12 games, as they've won 12 in a row coming into this one, including the last two meetings with the Desert Dogs on the 30th and 31st of April. Mesquite coming in at 15-9. Yakima, the hottest team in the league, at 22-6. But Mesquite will welcome back a fan and crowd and heart favorite. And we'll have that information for you after we get tonight's national anthem. That comes for you next. Game 1 of the West playoffs in the Basketball League 2019. The Yakima Sunkings and the Mesquite Desert Dogs comes for you next. This is the live stream courtesy of Meridics, the online video platform of the Basketball League. Stick with us. Time to get the TBL playoffs kicked off. Game 1 of the West Series between the Desert Dogs and the Yakima Sunkings just about ready to start, but a special presentation to be made beforehand as Commissioner Magley and President Magley will head to center court, and we've got the scoop for you. He's going to announce the Coach of the Year in the TBL, and obviously with him being in attendance tonight, you would expect it to be either one of the two coaches, and we are very proud to announce that Mesquite's own Carnell Wiley Jr. is about to be named the Basketball League Coach of the Year for 2018 and 19. Very exciting stuff for him. Also announced a couple of days ago as the end-of-season awards have started to roll out, James Still of the Tampa Bay Titans was named the Defender of the Year, but also bringing it a little bit closer to home, the Desert Dogs picked up the Newcomer of the Year award, and that is Tyron Criswell, man who's averaging better than 20 points per game for the season. So we're very excited for those early awards to come out, with James Still of Tampa Bay picking up Defender of the Year, Tyron Criswell of the Desert Dogs being named Newcomer of the Year, and the scoop just about to happen, even though he's going over some final game plans with his team. Carnell Wiley Jr. is about to be named the TBL Coach of the Year. We mentioned before the national anthem that the Desert Dogs welcome back, as I called him once he left the team, basically the heart and soul, the engine that ran the early success for the Desert Dogs. Jonathan Lloyd is back for the Desert Dogs, completing his assignment up in Canada, playing for the NBL. So congratulations for success up there. But Jay Lloyd back for the Desert Dogs, and as expected for Carnell Wiley, he will be in the starting lineup. But two very familiar teams to one another. Yakima and Mesquite last year did battle in North American Premier Basketball. They started the season playing games, a 4-game set, 2 here in Mesquite, 2 over in Yakima, where the teams split, the home team winning both of those, Mesquite winning the first 2, Yakima winning the next one. As you see on the camera there, with Coach Magley to the back, Tyron Criswell getting a standing ovation as the Basketball League Newcomer of the Year. And I think that will continue once Coach Magley announces, and he will give a plaque that's sitting on the scorer's table to Carnell Wiley. Now, these two teams are very similar when you look at the comparisons on stats. Both teams shooting 50% inside the arc. Yakima's got the advantage as it relates to beyond the arc, slightly at 37% to 33% from behind the three-point arc. And your biggest threat there is going to be Jackson Trapp, the 6'4" guard out of Florida Atlantic, a guy who had lit up the Desert Dogs on multiple occasions this year. Field goal percentage overall, even at 45. Free throw percentage slightly in favor of Yakima, 74 to 72, but two of the better free throw shooting teams in the league. As we mentioned, Yakima coming in winning 12 in a row. They once sat at 12-6. Mired would they get into the top four, but their win streak has taken care of that. While the Desert Dogs have limped a little bit towards the end, obviously losing the last two to Yakima 3 weeks ago now, since they did not make that trip over to New York. So they should be fresh. They should not have tired legs. It's just a matter of, as the time period has been since the end of March, what kind of team chemistry have they been able to hold, especially in game situations, as compared to the Yakima Sunkings as well. Time to get you some starting lineups. First for Paul Woolport's defending league champion at Sun Kings. At guard, we mentioned the sharpshooter Jackson Trapp, 6'4" out of Florida Atlantic. The kind of three guard, the combo wing, will be Stephen Battle, 6'5" out of Florida Southern, a Division II national champion. The point guard and a guy who will do just about everything for Yakima, Robert Duncan. He played collegiately at Division II Chico State. He's 6'4", just a very talented player. In the front court, Ronaldo Major, 6'7" forward out of Fresno State. One of the elder statesmen on the team will be in the 4 spot. And the center, Matt Koshwal, 6'10", played collegiately at DePaul. Again, Paul Woolport, the head coach, and Jim Barrett, the assistant coach for the Yakima Sun Kings. Now for the Desert Dogs, who will have this as their only game of this series, a pivotal game one. The guard line will be Jay Lloyd. Jonathan Lloyd, the 5'8" dual sport superstar out of the University of Oregon, will be joined in the backcourt by Darius Stewart, the elder statesman of the Dogs from Lassen Community College, 6'5". Tyron Criswell, 6'4" out of UNR. The former Wolfpack star will be the third on the guard line. And the forwards tonight, Brandon Mitchell, 6'6" out of San Jose State. And Dominic Schuler getting the start tonight. The phenom from South Carolina. We've mentioned it multiple times if you've listened to Mesquite games or watched Mesquite games, but if you're a Yakima fan that may not have heard the story or it's slipped your mind, Dominic Schuler did not play organized basketball in high school. He did not play organized basketball in college. He was raised in open gyms, raised on games and pickup throughout the area in South Carolina. And the man, able to get a look at a combine last year, was an integral part of the Desert Dogs' late run in 2018. And though starting in another league in 2019, came midway and has been a very solid addition to the guard or the front court line for Mesquite. Carnell Wiley Jr. in his first year as head coach. He was last year an assistant to now TBL Commissioner Paul McKeskey. And as we just mentioned, with Coach Magley being here, given the award, the 2019 TBL Coach of the Year. As for the video, as you see, we've got a wide shot here. We're not going to be moving the camera back and forth, so anything in the corners I will do my best to relay to you, but we're hoping that you'll be able to just see both action and kind of a wide spread of what's going on the game. Yakima on the road team, the road blacks trimmed in gold, while the Desert Dogs tonight in the home whites trimmed in silver and red. Teams given their pleasantries in the center circle before the jump. We're about to get ready. What could be the final home game of the 2019 season underway. Stephen Battle and Dominic Schuler look like they will be the combatants of the jump ball. Jonathan Lloyd back in the whites, looking back, sporting a headband look. Wonder if he picked that up in his time in Canada. Ball into the center circle, straight up, and won by Yakima. Going left to right on your video. Robert Duncan will run the point for Paul Woolpert's team. Dumped down low, Koshwal working, cuts to the outside, and there's Trapp for three, and he knocks it home. Easy look for one of the leading scorers in the basketball league this year, Jackson Trapp, a 3-0 Yakima lead. Lloyd stops, pops, misses that first shot long, and it's last touched off of Dominic Schuler's hand, and the possession will go to Yakima. Like to see Jonathan Lloyd getting back into the flow of things early, but maybe a rushed first shot on the possession for Mesquite there. Yakima on the heels of a Jackson Trapp three, leading early. Darius Stewart trying to stay with him. Koshwal floats in and puts a right-hand hook shot off the basket and in. 5-0 Yakima, scoring on their first two possessions. There's a three ball that rims in and out, missed by Brandon Mitchell. Cleaned up by Duncan, who will be a leading rebounder. Near side, Battle fires the three, looks good, but it's off the front of the rim. Jackson Trapp follows, misses the putback. Cleared by Jonathan Lloyd of the Dogs, trying to get their first bucket of the game. Hands off. Schuler stops and then banks it quickly off the glass for the bucket. Good patience by the Erno South Carolinian. 5-2 lead for Yakima. 10:38 mark of the first. Duncan finds the paint, goes in and puts it off the glass. Finishes with a nice right-hand look. The former Chico State Wildcat puts Yakima back up by 5. Criswell drives middle among three. It's batted out of bounds on the block by Ronaldo Major. Ball remains to the home club. Last time these two teams played, Yakima handily winning those games on their home court. Again, in prime position to defend their league championship, which they did last year, defeating the Albany Patroons. Criswell off the screen, high arcing jumper off the mark long. Stephen Battle clears, and with 2 minutes gone in the first quarter, Yakima leading by 5 with possession. Duncan gets around Lloyd, stops, floats off the backboard, and knocks it in. 2 straight buckets for Robert Duncan. 9-2, Yakima ahead. A drive, touched out of bounds. They say by Stephen Battle. Just looked like quickly that Brandon Mitchell lost the possession of the basketball. Battle had his hands straight up. It's hard to imagine that he did tap that out. Mitchell double teamed. Floats back up. Gets it right back from Darius Stewart on the left-hand angle. 10 on the possession. Criswell fires a long-range three. Long off the mark. Duncan, as he does so often, flies up for the rebound. Cross court. Ronaldo Major lines up the three ball. It's short. Criswell clears. Lobs a pass. And it's too long for Darius Stewart. Out of bounds and a turnover for Mesquite. 2.5 minutes gone, and the Dogs have just not found any offensive flow. While Yakima started out with a very simple three-point look. Here's Duncan again, and he finds another mark. Third bucket, 6 points for him. It's a 9-point lead for Yakima at 11-2. Criswell looking to drive off, stops and pops from 17, short. Duncan, as he does again with his third rebound. Yakima looking for an early 10-point lead. Trapp off the curl, stops, misses short on a 17-footer, and Schuler clears up the board. Tries to get it to Lloyd. It bounces off his foot, luckily, to Tyron Criswell. And it'll be a timeout called by Carnell Wiley. 8:45 left in the first, and he does not quite like what he's seen offensively in these opening possessions. Robert Duncan's got 6, leading the way for the Sun Kings. They're up 11-2. We're back after this timeout. 11-2, Yakima with the early advantage over the Desert Dogs. Garnell Wiley trying to get the Desert Dogs to play more within their normal system. Off a nice hard curl. Shot up, bucket, and the harm for Brandon Mitchell. Able to work through contact and knock home the jump shot. And that foul charge to Robert Duncan will be his first. So a chance for a three-point opportunity for Brandon Mitchell, former San Jose State Spartan. Free throw finds the mark. Three-point play in the books. And the Dogs cut the lead down to 6. We're at the 8.5-minute mark of this opening period. Duncan's been able to work against Jonathan Lloyd. He's got it on the right block. Look at a spin. Off the backboard again. And Duncan right now taking advantage of the height that he has against Jonathan Lloyd. Jay Lloyd almost lost the handle again. This time Yakima does take it away. Battle. Throws it right side. Back to Duncan. On a straightaway look. Jackson Trapp. Bounce pass low. Koshwal now trying to battle again. Throws it near side. Ronaldo Major. Short. Schuler flies up for the board. Criswell looking to go one-on-one against Trapp. Loses it for a second. Retrieves it baseline side. Tries to throw it underneath to Schuler, and Battle saves it on the near side corner. Dogs with the turnover. Major throws it cross court. Duncan to Trapp. Baseline drive. Trapp's floater short. Criswell clears. In transition, this is normally the Dogs' strong suit. Mitchell left hand short. Schuler flies up for the rebound. Gives it back to Stewart. He'll fly in, go it, and reverse it, but gets it blocked by Major. And a whistle. It'll be too many steps. Duncan looked for the outlet, got it. When he turned around, Jonathan Lloyd was right there, set up for a potential charge. And Duncan was like, yep, I shuffled the pivot foot there and took too many steps. 7:12 remaining in the first period. 11-5, Yakima leads. Best of 3 series. This is game 1 of the West. East starts on the 20th between Raleigh and Albany. Lloyd kicks back. Stewart a 3. That's good from the far side. Big triple needed there as the Dogs climb back within 5. 13-8 the lead for Yakima. Major looked for Jackson Trapp on the cut. He'll drive in. It's tipped and stolen away by Schuler. 4-on-2 break. Schuler gives off to Criswell. He'll go through contact, miss it long, but he'll head to the charity stripe looking for some free throws. And that foul charge to Stephen Battle. First of the night for him, second team foul. Dogs do not or cannot be afraid of contact tonight. They've done that over the last couple of possessions. Criswell able to connect on the first. 21 points, just over 21 points for the season on average for TC. Trying to hit both ends and promptly knocks home the second. 13-10, making it a one-possession game. Battle tried to drive, but Stewart there to corral him. Jackson Trapp spins, throws up a underhand granny shot. Dogs thought he traveled. Whistle did not come. Lob pass inside. Throw to the far side to Stewart. One more Criswell. Tries to drive on the seam. Tries to throw it off the glass. It's long. Battle for the rebound. And it's going to be a foul. And the whistle going the other way. Called against Brandon Mitchell. Him and Koshwal were battling. And Mitchell called for his first personal. Still a one-possession lead for Yakima, who is led by as many as 9. Duncan off the screen. Drives in, and Schuler rejects it out of bounds. 5:58, just midway portion of the first. Trapp gets it, baseline jumper, just off the mark. Ronaldo Major cleans and puts up the putback. Too easy on the second opportunity for Yakima there, building their lead back up to 5. Jumper, J. Lloyd, that's inside the arc for 2. First bucket on the return, whistle. Darnell Wiley thought it was a clean steal. Didn't necessarily see why they reset to 24. Duncan thought about the shot, got away with a push-off. Layup left hand missed by Koshwal and rebounded on the tip there by Mitchell. One possession lead for Yakima, leading by 3. A chance to tie. Long range off the mark. Rebound fought for and battled by Koshwal as Yakima's got the numbers going the other way. Duncan zips a pass. Wide open Ronaldo Major under the bucket for the easy bunny. 17-12 Yakima. 5 minutes left in this first period. Lloyd drives by Battle and cashes it in off the left hand. It's the type of scoring the Dogs are going to need from the returning Lloyd. Trap, open, 3 ball, short. Duncan, the offensive board. Major playing a 2-man game, but decides to drive. Right hand hook, up and in. 19-14. After Major's third bucket, he's got 6. 14 of the 19 scored between Ronaldo Major and Robert Duncan. Criswell one-on-one. This is the high arcer. Duncan, weak side, cleans up the board. Near side for Battle. He'll line up the 3. It's short. Stewart with the board and looking to move. Slows it as he crosses the half-court line. Dogs have been within 3 a couple of times, but no closer. Spin move, Stewart. Short. Koshwal able to get the carom. 4 minutes left in the opening period. Battle trying to get the man off the mark. Goes up. He's fouled and will go to the line. That's going to be Mitchell lowering that hand on the drive instead of having him straight up. Picks up his second foul. And Stephen Battle will head to the charity stripe. 6'5" guard. Former Division II national champion at Florida Southern. So teams prepare to make their first subs of the game coming in after this initial free throw. Battle connects on the opening one to push the lead up to 6. For the Desert Dogs, Stephen McCall, Vegas native. 5'10" guard checks in, as well as Deshaun Brown Jr., 6'6". Battle unable to connect on the second free throw. Jason Conrad, the 7-footer, also a Chico State grad, checks in for Yakima. Lloyd not there. Brown's tip back misses. And then a loose ball foul going the other way. That's going to be charged to Deshaun Brown. He picks up his first foul quickly. So on the dead ball, Brent Shuck checks in. 6'8", forward out of Manhattan, Kansas. He comes in for Stephen Battle. 20-14, Yakima leads, 3:35 and counting left in the opening period. Trap off the curl. Bounces it in, and a whistle. Jonathan Lloyd caught up on the switch. 5'8", going against 7 foot. And Lloyd called for a hold. 4 straight fouls called against Mesquite. Robert Duncan will get his first rest of the night. And Yakima brings in Darius Graham, 5'10" guard, playing his collegiate ball at UC Davis. High lob, Duncan stays in. It's actually for Jackson Trapp, who came in. Duncan misses the short shot, loose ball rebound. Lloyd's got it, trying to speed around everyone, including his own teammates. McCall finds room and knocks home the triple. Stevie McCall, big 3 to cut it down to a 20-17 Yakima lead. And McCall trying to get in the face of his fellow guard. Shuck to the top to Conrad. Yakima used so well without the basketball. Shuck misses short. Tipped out rebound. Stephen McCall after the initial touch. Zip pass, near side angle. Back to Criswell. He'll drive in, off the glass, knock it in. TC driving right past his defender to cut it to a 1-point game. Dogs as close as they've been since, the opening tip. Yakima scored the first 5, built it out to as many as 9. Major drives, flies it in, goaltend. They're going to count the bucket. Dominic Schuler. Oh, and they're going to call a foul as well. So call the goaltend for Major. And then Criswell called for the personal. So that puts Yakima into the bonus and an and-one opportunity for Ronaldo Major. He's looking to become the leading scorer on the night. His free throw, perfect. 9 in the opening quarter. And as the Dogs get close, a three-point play for Yakima puts them up 23-19. Lloyd looking to drive. Nice pass underneath. Brown and one. Nifty weak side baseline look for the Dogs. And Deshaun Brown a chance for the three-point play. Did not hear necessarily who the foul was on, but Brown clings the long free throw miss. 23-11. 2:10 left to go in the first. Sean Brown right in Brett Shuck's pocket. Drive near side and a kick. Shuck open for 3. It's long. Lloyd looking for the rebound, but Duncan battles him, gets the rebound, misses the short shot, and the Dogs clear it out. Chance for a tie or the first lead. Lloyd doesn't get the contact, tipped up. Last touch by Tyre on Criswell, out of bounds. We'll have a timeout on the floor. And with 1:44 left to go in period number 1, the score, Yakima 23, Mesquite 21. We're back after this timeout. Yakima basketballs. We're back with 1:40 left in the first period. 23-21 the lead for the Sun Kings. Game 1 of the West playoffs. Winner of this will face the winner of Albany and Raleigh for the TBL championship. Far side for Madison Higgins. Long range shot off the mark. Schuler, Spider-Man's out for that rebound. And another chance for the Dogs to tie or take the lead. Lloyd gets to the free three-point line, and now it'll be Criswell. Bounce back to Lloyd. Higgins right on him. Lloyd among the trees. Gets it off. Criswell cashes it in off the glass, and we're tied at 23 all. Dogs have erased as much as a 9-point lead in this first quarter. Brand hand off to Duncan. Brand playing the point guard. Duncan transitions to the 2. Shuck working against Criswell. Hands off. Higgins, the jumper, off the mark. Schuler corrals it with 2 hands. Under a minute to go. Dogs looking for their first lead. Lloyd, 17-footer. That's in his range. Knocks it home. Dogs have the lead. 6-0 run. 25-23 Mesquite. Duncan step back 3 to retake the lead. Off the mark. Schuler rips another rebound. About a 3.5-second differential between shot and game clock at the end of this first period. As well, grabs it from McCall. Sets up with now be Lloyd. 5 on the shot clock. Off the screen. Little step through. Off the backboard, no. Deshaun Brown tips to Shuck. And the last second opportunity, no good. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. 12 minutes in the books. Mesquite down by as much as 9. Has the lead. 25-23. Second quarter when we return. This is the Basketball League's coverage of Game 1 of the West Playoffs. The Mesquite Desert Dogs and the Yakima Sunkings. Yakima scored 11 of the first 13 points in the game. Dogs closed the quarter going on a 9-3 run. And Mesquite's got the lead at the end of the first, 25-23. Game 1 of the West Championship, as you may say, or the West Playoffs. First game here tonight in Mesquite. Tomorrow night in Yakima, and if Game 3 necessary, that will be Saturday night in Yakima as well. The East playoffs between Raleigh and Albany will start on Saturday in Raleigh. The Firebirds hosting the Patroons. Then they'll have a couple days off and then head up to New York. So Albany will host Raleigh in Game 2, and the Patroons will then host Game 3 if necessary as well. You can log on to the basketballleague.net for the playoff picture, as well as statistics, stories. Also log on to the league's Instagram and social media platforms. You can also log on to Mesquite's Instagram and Facebook. If you have both of those, just search for Mesquite Desert Dogs. Able to check for up-to-date community service looks, look for practice, and what happens at the end of this game as well. Second quarter, Dogs with possession. Criswell gets by his defender, drives all the way, throws up a shot, and gets fouled. Jason Conrad is going to draw the foul. The entire Yakima contingent on the floor thought they all had their hands up. Referee thought otherwise as the 7-footer draws the personal. And I just love how the league epitomizes their philosophy, where the spirit of the game lives. Yeah, you watch games all the time, and you don't get to see what's beyond the court. But this league does a spectacular job of highlighting philanthropic community service projects across the country. That makes it very, very unique of a league. Criswell knocks home both free throws. Dogs have scored the last 8 in a row. Speaking of 8, that's where Criswell stands on the scoreboard. 27-23, long-range 3 ball. That one misses, and Criswell cleans up the board. Speeding down the middle of the floor, Criswell kicks. One more to Lloyd. He'll drive in, stop and pop, and get the hometown roll. 29-23. And tipped. Last touched out of bounds by the Dogs. Defensive intensity has definitely picked up in this second quarter. Duncan will take the sideline inbound. Sun Kings with 16 left on the possession. Shuck top of the key. Drives in, and it'll be an offensive foul. McCall was there. Shuck just backed up. Not necessarily liking the call. But the offensive foul will draw his first of the night. And early in this game, all the momentum was Yakima's. 3-minute mark of the first quarter, the Dogs have turned it up. Criswell, well beyond the arc. Stops and pops and hits a 19-footer. Double digits for TC. And the Beleen balloons to 31-23. McCall, last touch, and it'll be Desert Dog basketball, knocking it in hands of Madison Higgins. And Paul Wolpert's going to send in a trio of starters, bringing back Matt Koshwal, Jackson Tripp, and Stephen Battle to the floor. Conrad, Higgins, and Shuck will all sit down. Wolpert's seen about enough of what has now turned into a 12-0 Desert Dog run. Lloyd asks for a screen from Schuler. Goes back to Criswell. TC lost the dribble, gives it underneath. McCall wide open with the bucket. Defensive intensity by the Dogs, bringing it across the timeline, and a whistle. Timeout called by Paul Wolpert. Since the Dogs trailed 23-19, the last 14 all for Mesquite. 10:33 left in the second. Mesquite 33, Yakima 23. Back after this timeout. Just about 90 seconds gone in this second period. Mesquite has outscored Yakima 8-0 so far in the second quarter. And they've built their lead up to double digits for the first time tonight. 33-23 Mesquite. Yakima will have it out of the timeout on a half-court set. Bounce pass into Koshwal near side. Schuler trying to bat it out of his hands. Koshwal loses the handle. McCall tips it out. Yakima will maintain possession baseline with 8 left on the possession. You could say, yes, scoring has been the big reason why the Dogs have come back, but it's been their defensive intensity that has led to that. As Schuler bats the inbound. Lloyd down the way. Off the glass, misses. Koshwal cleans, and now Yakima looking in transition. Battle slows it down and hands it off to the floor general, Robert Duncan. Battle looking to drive in the middle. Goes off and misses short. Rebound underneath Koshwal, and he'll put it in to break the scoring drought for Yakima. 33-25 Mesquite. Long range shot. Lloyd misses. Schuler battles, and it's saved nicely baseline by Darius Graham. Yakima playing back to their tempo. Trapp drives in, spins, lost the handle, and they're going to call a foul on the shot up against Stevie McCall. Here traveling from the Desert Dog bench, they're not going to get that call. Jackson Trapp, one of the purest shooters in the league, will head to the free throw line. Started out the game with a wide open triple, and until knocking home that free throw, had not scored since. 4 points, trying to close within 6. Yakima's biggest lead has been 9. The Desert Dogs' biggest lead has been 10. Since getting to that 10-point lead, 6-0 run put together, 4-0 run put together by Yakima. Stevie to Deshaun Brown, who misses the dunk, and it goes out of bounds. Trying to do a little showtime, Brown unable to flush it down with that left hand. Robert Duncan sits down with Ronaldo Major returning to the game for Yakima. 9:25 remaining in the first half. Hometown Mesquite Desert Dogs leading by 6. Ball tipped. Criswell's got it. Going one-on-one. Instead, Stevie McCall picks up the scraps and puts it off the glass. Can't necessarily call that an assist for Criswell, but I guess you can for the backboard. Coach Wall working against Schuler. Bounce pass. It's stolen away by Criswell. Lob pass to Sean Brown. He'll lay it off the glass and in. Back-to-back transition looks, leading to back-to-back buckets for the Dogs. And Mesquite back up by 10, 37-27. Graham goes right off the curl, back to the top. Battle straightaway 3 ball. Off the right side mark. Lloyd the board. Crosses half court. Stops and comes back. McCall thought about a long-range 3. Criswell off the Schuler screen. Stop. Long-range 2 is good. TC leading all scorers with 12. 39-27 Desert Dogs. Trap working against Lloyd. Off the Major screen, a switch off between Lloyd and Brown defensively. Inside Major with the height. Major over Lloyd and gets that one to fall. Ronaldo Major now into double figures. Bounce pass, Schuler throws it up, doesn't get the bucket, but got bumped on the way there. And we'll head to the line after Jackson Trapp's first foul. As we mentioned in the pregame or the starting lineup, Schuler did not play high school basketball, did not play college basketball. Did not earn his first paycheck until last year as a member of the Desert Dogs. It's an amazing story. High arcing free throw. Tickles the twine for his third point. Dogs' biggest lead now is 11. Schuler trying to make it 12. Guy last year who impressed all with his leaping ability has come up and improved his game dramatically. Misses the second free throw. Duncan the rebound. And he'll drive baseline and throw it over to Sean Brown for the bucket. 10th point on the night for Duncan. 40-31. We're at 7.5 minutes and counting left in the first half. Criswell working against Coach Wall and a foul. Coach Wall is going to get caught reaching. First on Coach Wall, fourth team foul. Called against Yakima in the quarter. So their last one before putting the Dogs in the bonus. McCall gets the inbound. Duncan off defensively, bounces off the screen. Throw it underneath. Criswell back to the top. Lloyd gets away from a defender. Kicks to the corner. Criswell in and out on the coffin corner 3. Coach Wall clears it. Whistle away from the basketball and a hold. It's going to be called against Jonathan Lloyd. And on the dead ball, Lloyd will get a break. Brandon Mitchell checks back in. So Stevie McCall will be the pure point guard in this set for the Dogs on the offensive side. Inside to Coach Wall. Working against Schuler. Tied up. Jump ball. Schuler gambled by reaching in, and that gamble pays off. Mine's unofficial, but I've got 2. Jump ball, won by the Yakima Sunkings. Major working against Deshaun Brown. Goes to the side, ball up, loose, picked up by Coach Wall, and he puts it up and in. 2 guys were skying up for a potential rebound, and none of them cleared it. Coach Wall connects on the second effort, 40-33. As well on the right side, drives middle. Scoop shot underneath, misses, put back up and good. TC's second effort gives him 14. 42-33. Duncan hit and fouled. Brandon Mitchell with his third. Darius Stewart comes back in. Brandon Mitchell will have to sit down with his 3 fouls. Ball through. And Jackson Trapp able there to put it up and in. Nice court vision there for Ronaldo Major to see Trapp had slipped his defender for a nice high percentage floater in the paint. 42-35 Dogs halfway through the second period. Long 17-footer, finds nothing but air. Duncan clears the long-range miss from Brown. Long-range shot from Trapp, no. Tipped out, rebound. Picked up by Stevie McCall out beyond the arc. He steps into a long-range 3 and hits. McCall, the first bench player for the Dogs in double figures. 45-35 Dogs, back up by double figures. Duncan drives in, whistle. It's going to be Darius Stewart trying to push through the screen. Both teams now with 4 team fouls at the 5.5-minute mark left in this second quarter. Duncan just a smart and savvy player, not forcing much of anything. Drives in, blocked, holds onto it, gets it underneath, and it's tipped by Stewart, recovered by the Dogs. TC, lob for Schuler. He got pushed out of bounds. There's no call, and the ball out of bounds to Yakima. Referee was looking up for the highlight instead of maybe seeing that Schuler was pushed out from the alley-oop. That's where Garnell Wiley is arguing his point. Shallow dribble, Duncan up beyond the arc, right-hand side. Jackson Trapp with Criswell in his pocket. Trapp around, drives, blocked by Criswell, but body contact and a foul. TC didn't like the call, neither did anybody on the Mesquite bench. A foul that puts Yakima into the bonus will send Jackson Trapp to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Would expect nothing but free throw makes here from Jackson Trapp. Connects on the first. Dogs by 9. Yakima, who's had as much as a 9-point lead in this game early in the first quarter, trying to slice into the Mesquite advantage. And a perfect 2-for-2 trip for Trapp, who's gotten 9 points overall, 6 of them coming in the second quarter. Criswell hands it off to Brown. Deshaun goes in. His left-hand shot misses. Tipped out on the rebound to Duncan. Bounce pass. Koshwal. Reverse layup. Miss. Major battles for the rebound. Loose ball over the back. Going the other way. That time against Yakima. And with that being the 5th team foul, free throws coming the other way for Mesquite. And it looks like it's going to be Stevie McCall heading to the line. University of Montana Western collegiate product. But all Las Vegas during his prep career. He's got 11 on the night. Coach Wall will sit down. So Yakima brings back in, looked like Conrad. No good for McCall in the second. Yakima gets the rebound. And that's a 9-point game, 4.5-minute mark. And a foul called against Mesquite. McCall trying to defend his man Gets called for pushing through a potential screen. Jackson Trapp looking for some freebies and can't connect on the first. .424 remaining in the first half. Both teams in the bonus, so non-player control fouls will head to the line. Trapp able to get the second of two. 46-38. Let's pass out to Criswell. Trapp giving him some space. Criswell will drive in, lose the handle, kick back out near side. Stewart for two. Yes, sir. Inside the arc. Second field goal of the night for Stu. 48-38. Dogs back up by 10. Ronaldo Major, Jackson Trapp, and Robert Duncan all in double figures for Yakima. Duncan has it tipped. Schuler saves it, throws it to Deshaun Brown. Deshaun in the paint, floater, little long, rebound Stu, drives in and gets the roll. 50-38 on the second chance bucket for the Dogs. 3:30 left in the first half. And now whistle away from the basketball. And Darius Stewart's going to be called. Looks like a lot of emphasis is being put on freedom of movement in the paint. The last two fouls called against Mesquite have been working through screens. Conrad onto the scoreboard. The 7-footer looking for one more. Second one. Clashes down with no problem. 10-point game. Dogs leading by 10. It's 50-40. 3 minutes left to go. 3:18 left in this second quarter. And a whistle away from the basketball, and that's a savvy Darius Stewart blacking up a guard defender, a large guard defender in Ronaldo Major. And heading to the free throw line. Stewart was, you could call him smart. Started from the left block and kind of just moved his posterior back until the referee saw that, hey, I'm trying to build position and I'm being, quote unquote, held and pulled. It seemed to have worked. First free throw good. Stu's second. Rattles home. Stewart a point away from becoming the third Desert Dog in double figures. Duncan drives middle. And we'll have a goaltend. Dogs trying for the highlight reel of blocking that one away. The goaltend will lead to a dead ball and a timeout on the floor. Mesquite 52, Yakima 42, 2:59 remaining in the first half. We'll close it out here after this timeout.
Said it would. Did it hit the rim?
Maybe. Both teams in this game one of the West Region playoffs have exerted their will. Yakima did so to an early 11-2 advantage. But for the majority of that time since, Mesquite has been able to use transition looks in their favor. Just under the 3-minute mark left until halftime, have the ball leading by 10, 52-42 over the defending league champions. Criswell squares up, long-range shot, misses. Schuler battles, fights for the rebound, and throws it into a menagerie. And that one tipped, but Deshaun Brown can't hold on to it. And that ping-pong and pinball of basketball finally ends up in the Sun King possession on their front court. Yakima's been within 7 a couple of times in this quarter, but no closer. Trapp lobs it in. Battle. Back out to Trapp. A long-range 3 is perfect. 10 points in the quarter for Jackson Trapp. And there's that 7-point differential again, 52-45. Bound drives in. Blocked away by Conrad. Lob pass to Battle. Battle drives in. Shot up, miss. Duncan, the putback, it's good. A run here for the Yakima Sun Kings of 7-0. Headed to a 5-point game. McCall working against Duncan. Kicks. Criswell a 3. Short. Deshaun Brown tips it. Loose ball Battle. Won by the Sun Kings. Major down the middle of the floor. Tries to hand it off to Conrad. It's batted and stolen away. McCall to Criswell. Drives in and cashes it in off the glass. Breaks that 7-0 run put together by Yakima. 54-47 Mesquite ahead. Just under the minute-and-a-half mark until the break. Duncan with that shallow dribble left side. Bounces it out to Battle. Baseline jumper. Short. Conrad fights for the rebound and grabs it. It's blocked from behind. Battle misses the short one. And Brown pulls down the rebound. Paul Wolpert wanted contact or at least something to fall, and he didn't get it. Minute left to go in the second quarter. Dogs up by 7. McCall wants Schuler to set a screen. McCall, 3-ball. Short, tipped around, picked up by Stewart, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. Robert Duncan pleading his case, saying, I got nothing but ball. But he's not going to win that argument. And it picks up his second. Darius Stewart heading to the line to shoot 2 potentially. So teams are going to bring in some first-time subs coming up. That's, of course, after Stewart attempts to get into double figures. And misses short. Mesquite brings in Spencer Mathis. He comes in for TC. While Yakima brings in Kyle Godfrey, a 6'5" guard playing at Norwood for his collegiate. First time we've seen him for Yakima. Stewart can't cash in on either of them. Blown opportunity for Mesquite. 43 and counting left in the second quarter. Duncan to Trapp. Spins through a defender, gets it back to Conrad. Throws it out to Duncan. Right back out to Jackson Trapp for 3. And hits. Clock was still going, so they might put some time back on, but Yakima's battled back here to close it within 4. The shot clock is still running. They're trying to get that to about 31.4. Now we're all set to go. 7.5 second differential between shot and game clock. Slow dribble across the timeline for McCall. Drives in the middle, kicks near side. Mathis for 3. Yes! Big triple off the bench for Spencer Mathis. 57-50 Mesquite up. Shot clock turned off. Sun Kings have the final look. 10 seconds left. Conrad looking to set the screen for Duncan. He'll drive in, go off the glass, miss it. Conrad flushes it home. 3 seconds left. Mathis, long range look. That will not go. And that will end the first half. 57-52. The lead for Mesquite after 24 minutes. Leading scorers, TC. 16 for Mesquite. 11 for Stephen McCall. Brandon Stewart's got 9 for Yakima. Jackson Trapp with 16. Robert Duncan 14. Ronaldo Major has 11. Again at the break of this game 1 of the West playoffs in the TDL. It's the Desert Dogs 57 and the Sun Kings 52. We'll quiet it down a little bit. And you enjoy the quiet time as well. We'll be back for the second half after the Desert Dog Dancers do their thing and we get a chance to recoup. Again at the break. Mesquite 57, Yakima 52. This is Desert Dog Basketball, Game 1 of the West Playoffs on the Basketball League Online.
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing a really good job. I appreciate
Thank you.
so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. My pleasure.
Challenge is back in Canada, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You did real good up there.
Yeah, you did.
I talked to, this is the story you can share with me.
Good.
I talked to the owner and asked him how much it would take for Jonathan to take over. So the first day he didn't know where he was. The second day he got one. Third day he was leaving it too. That's really
I'm going to use that in the second half. Thank you. That's actually better for them because all the other times we've had to go up there, we've had to go out. 17 hours. So a win tonight would be great because then worst case they go to the third game. Best case is they're going to 2 and they come home and they don't go to the East one doesn't start until Saturday. Our game 3 will be Saturday. Their game 1 is Saturday. Then their game 2 on Tuesday. Raleigh, North Carolina, and Albany, New York. The game 1 is Raleigh, and the game 2 is also 3 is Albany. Gloves tan, I got elbow brace tan. Actually got me a brace on my elbow and I worked it. It still hurts but it makes it feel better, but elbow guard tan, glove tan. I got some triplets tan. out of the corner. Hey, look, you guys are on TV. So am I. It's not live. Never happened.
Game 1 of this 2019, the Basketball League West playoffs. Almost done with halftime. At the break, the hometown Desert Dogs of Mesquite leading the defending league champion Yakima Sunkings 57-52. Leading scorers Tyron Criswell for Mesquite with 16. Stephen McCall off the bench with 11. Darius Stewart with 9. Jonathan Lloyd with 8. Wow, the Yakima Sunkings led in scoring by a nice second quarter from Jackson Trapp, 13 of his 16 in that second period. Robert Duncan with 14. Ronaldo Majors got 11. Next on the scoring total would be Matt Koshwal with 6. Nobody in huge amount of foul trouble. Brandon Mitchell and Jonathan Lloyd each with 3 for Mesquite. Nobody on the Sun Kings with more than 2. But a very good opportunity for Mesquite to try and get this W here at home. And then the task will be try to win in the Sun Dome, which they have not been able to do at all this season. 4 road games and 4 losses to Yakima, kind of bookending the regular season. Horn sounds for the second half. We'll see what kind of adjustments Paul Wolpert makes to try to stymie the Desert Dog transition offense. And for Carnell Wiley and the Desert Dogs, can Mesquite keep up their defensive intensity against a very solidly coached and solidly played Yakima Sun Kings squad that definitely has the playoff experience, especially this time of the year. Starting 5 for the Yakima Sun Kings will be their starting 5 from the beginning of the game. Ronaldo Major, Jackson Trapp, Robert Duncan, Stephen Battle, and Matt Koshwal. Desert Dogs will counter with Brandon Mitchell, Darius Stewart, Tyron Criswell, Jonathan Lloyd. Looks like we're missing one. Oh, there's Dominic Schuler. Looked like he was getting some last-second work in the training room. Dogs have to start the third after losing the opening tip. Drive. Mitchell hangs and knocks it in off the heel of the rim. So an early start to the quarter for Brandon Mitchell. 59-52, Desert Dogs with the lead. Duncan, that shallow dribble, this time working from the left side of the angle. Try to get it into Koshwal. Almost batted away by Schuler. Koshwal bodying back to Duncan. 6 on the clock. Ball tip, stolen away by Jonathan Lloyd. Jay Lloyd drives in through the traffic. Somehow gets it to Darius Stewart, and he knocks it in. Stu into double figures. 61-52. Quick 4-0 start for the home club, building their lead back up to 9. Looking for Koshwal again, but it's tipped out to the corner. Trying to body up Stewart, or body up Schuler. Faces the basket. Drives in, got away with the travel, but misses the bunny. Cleared by Darius Stewart. Kicks to Criswell. He'll drive off the glass and connect. Leading scorer of the night, TC with 18. Back up to an 11-point lead. Good start for the home club. Duncan working against Lloyd. Yakima cuts so well, especially away from the basketball. Duncan can't connect. Schuler, the rebound. TC out to Stu. He'll drive in. Bucket and the harm. Initiated the contact there and got the whistle. Foul against Koshwal, number 2 on the night. Paul Wolpert, hand on his hips. Not liking the call one bit. Looking for a 9-0 start to the half. Stewart connects. 66-52. The lead is 14. Stewart's got 5 points already in the third quarter. Trap around. Floater. Left hand. Gets the roll. That one hit 2 or 3 times on the rim before dropping. And a three-pointer. TC into the 20s with that triple. 15-point lead for the Dogs. Trap answers with the triple. He gets to 21. Dueling three-pointers get the lead, respective leading scorers to 21 points each. Shot short, missed, cleared by Koshwal. Bounce pass to Duncan. Head full of steam. Jay Lloyd trying to be pesky defensively. Someone's wide open. It's Ronaldo Major right under the bucket. Schuler double teamed, and that left Major wide open underneath the rim. 69-59. Lloyd, step back, fires. 3 is good. Jay Lloyd in his return to the Dogs picks up his 11th point. 72-59. Duncan off the Koshwal screen. He'll fire a 3 and connect. This is any 3 you can do, I can do better. 10-point lead, 72-62. Lloyd, pesky around the baseline. Everyone backs it up. Lloyd over the top of Koshwal, misses the jumper. Clangs off and Duncan pulls down the rebound. Goes right off the Koshwal screen. Gets it tipped and stolen away by Dominic Schuler. And Duncan trying to do the same. No call. Last touch by Duncan. And he looks back and said, yeah, I touched it. He may have thought the whistle was for a late foul called. Instead, the Dogs somehow hold on to possession. 8:27 left in the third. Dogs 72, Sun Kings 62. And an 8-second violation. Paul Wolpert had to get in the eye of the ref saying, hey, clock hit 14, and he's absolutely right. Actually should have been 8-second when it got to 16. Sun King basketball just inside half court after a Desert Dog turnover. Koshwal lobs it over to Duncan. Big setting screens out beyond the free-throw line. Trap comes loose. Drives and cashes it in off the glass. Lit up the Desert Dogs in games in Yakima, and he's now the leading scorer of the game with 23. 72-64. Lloyd crossing over Trap. Bounce pass underneath. Mitchell through contact, doesn't get the foul, but Duncan can't hold on to the rebound, and it's a possession to Mesquite. No reset of the shot clock. 9 left on the possession. TC gets it off the curl. Off the Koshwal bump. Jumper. Knocks it in. TC's 23rd point. Back up to a 10-point lead. Battle. Going up. And he's fouled. It'll be Schuler with the contact on the second opportunity. And amazingly, just Dom's first personal of the night. Stephen Battle will head to the free throw line. And you can follow the Basketball League online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for league-wide information. You can also follow the Desert Dogs on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Mesquite Desert Dogs, all one word, on either one of those social media platforms. Battle 2 for 2 on the free throws. All of his points coming from the charity stripe tonight. 74-66, 7.5 minutes left in the third. Dogs lead at the half was 5. Had it double figures multiple times. Stewart gets free and gets the bucket in the harm. Robert Duncan got caught behind. And that little late bump draws the foul. Double-digit lead again for Mesquite. Darius Stewart, who's got 7 already in the quarter, looking for the and one. Free throw, up and good. 8 in the quarter, 17 for the game for Darius Stewart. Picket Fence's lead at 77-66, lead by 11. It's a lot of double digits. Repeating ones. Trap gets away from Stewart, drives in, and it's blocked away. Lloyd trying to save it. Baseball pass, it does. Gets it to Mitchell. Gives it off to TC. TC drives in the middle. Goes up and connects off the glass somehow, some way. 25 for TC. And the lead for the Mesquite Desert Dogs is 13. Duncan drives in. Batted out by Dominic Schuler out of bounds. And that'll bring us to an emphatic media timeout. 6:44 left in the third quarter. Mesquite 79, Yakima 66. We're back from Virgin Valley High School after this short timeout. Mesquite has turned up the offensive flow since the first quarter. It ended up being relatively low scoring. 25 for Mesquite, 23 for the Sun Kings. At the 6:44 mark of this third quarter, Mesquite already with 22 points on the board. Outscored the Sun Kings by 8 so far in this third period. Off the inbound, 16 to work for the Sun Kings. Still working on the possession after the swat by Schuler. Jumper, battle, unable to connect. Loose ball, Lloyd's got the rebound. Out to Stu. He flushes it home. A big third quarter happening for Brandon Stewart. And the Dogs have their biggest lead of 15, 81-66. Duncan lost the handle. Turnover. TC picks up the steal. TC drives. Doesn't get it. Stewart there, but can't connect on the second chance. He's contacted and will head to the line. Jackson Trapp of Yakima called for the personal. Stewart, who's already outscored his first half with 10 here in the third quarter, looking to add to this 15-point Mesquite lead. Free throw by Stu is up and good for 20 on the night. Duncan will sit down. Darius Graham, the 5'10" guard out of UC Davis, returns for Yakima. Stewart's got one more. Always trying to ride the hot hand, and in this second half, the third quarter, it's been TC and Darius Stewart. Lucky 21 now for D-Stu. 83-66. And tomorrow night, this series transitions to Yakima for game 2. Double team, able to work out of it. Ronaldo Major gives it back. Graham right back to Major. He'll fire a three. And that one up and good. Range out beyond the arc. Breaks a Desert Dog 9-0 run. 83-69 Mesquite up. 5:43 and counting in the third. Jay Lloyd steps back. Misses short on an 18-footer. Trapp with the carom. Gives it off to Graham. Working on the perimeter and caught up. Still caught up. Godfrey comes out to bail him out with 7 on the possession. Graham drives in. Left hand, long. Loose ball picked up by Major. He puts up shot, misses. Lost it out of his hands. TC, long pass, and out of bounds. Mitchell, that TC pass, just a little bit of mustard on it. From the second quarter on, the Dogs have been able to limit Yakima's opportunities after turnovers. And as they have most of the season, working off of Yakima or other team turnovers, able to work in the transition well. Bounce past Koshwal, nothing on the backdoor cut. Koshwal working against Schuler. Swatted out of the way by Stewart, out of bounds. Schuler attempted the charge. Stewart came from the weak side. And Yakima will have it with 7 left on the possession. Yakima tomorrow night for game 2. The question is, which team will have the 1-0 advantage? If it's Yakima, they put him in the proverbial catbird seat. Graham looking for Major. He's double teamed. Spins around one defender. Goes up over the top and misses. Schuler jumped up to alter that shot. Bounce past TC. Kick to the corner. Stu back to the top to Jay Lloyd. 3 ball. Off the mark left. Loose ball rebound picked up by Graham. Numbers for Yakima. Gives it off to Godfrey. His finger roll long. Schuler battles for the rebound. Dives on the floor. Picks it up and gets it to TC. Outlet to Stewart. Drives in. Layup is up. And good. 14 in the quarter for Darius Stewart. 23 now for the night. 85-69 Desert Dogs. We've got 4:10 left in the third quarter. Trapp fires the 3. Rattles it in and out and back in. Trapp with 26. Shot up by TC. Missed short. Koshwal the rebound. Graham drives. It's tipped. Batted. TC out to Jay Lloyd. Lloyd drives in. Finger rolls it up and in past Godfrey. 13 in the return for Jonathan Lloyd to a Desert Dog uniform. Have a story on him that was relayed to us by Coach Magley. Head down, Major throws it up, gets the prayer to go, and the foul. And the foul is going to be against Brandon Mitchell. So a chance for a 3-point opportunity here for Yakima's Rolando Major. Jason Conrad checks in. Matt Koshwal will sit down. Deshaun Brown and Stevie McCall.
We've got 87. We've got 87.
Free throw by Major. That one up and good. Sorry, folks. Had to try to help out the scorer's table for a second. Lead is 12. 87-75. 3:20 left in the third quarter. McCall, Criswell, Schuler, Brown, and Lloyd. Long shot by Criswell. No. Schuler tried to bat away the rebound, but Jackson Trapp's got it. Graham drives middle. Floater gets the roll. First bucket of the night for Darius Graham. Lead cut to 10. Mesquite leading 87-77. Yakima trying to take the final portions of this third quarter and take advantage of it as Lloyd throws it out of bounds, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Still a 10-point lead, but Yakima starting to get a little bit of the momentum. 87-77. Mesquite with the lead. You're watching Desert Dogs versus Yakima, Game 1 of the West Playoffs on the Basketball League Online. Back at Virgin Valley High School, 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. 87-77, Mesquite with the lead over Yakima. Both teams with 4 timeouts remaining. 3 team fouls for Yakima, 2 for Mesquite on your game reset. This live stream courtesy of Meridics.com, our season-wide partner for the Basketball League Online. They've been working with us for the last 2 years. Been a great relationship, and we're glad that they're able to provide this for us. Godfrey cut off baseline. Jonathan Lloyd picks up the loose ball on the steal. And Shuck, they called for a foul. He looks back saying, hey, I was the one that got tied up first. It'll be his second, the team's 4th. Lloyd slow, but brings it off to Criswell. And a bump. And a quick foul again on Shuck, and that should be the 5th team foul. Should be free throws. That seemed to be a small bit of a frustration foul for Brent Shuck. TC will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws with 2.5 minutes remaining in the third. TC, the leading scorer for the Dogs tonight, with 25. Had 6 after 1, scored 10 in the second quarter. And with that free throw, has now scored 10 in the third quarter. Well above his season average already, with 26 tonight. Second one for TC, and he makes both of them count. And the Dogs get a little defensive stop here and try to build on a 12-point lead. Shuck for 3, and he knocks it home. There's a little bit of a redemption after 2 quick fouls. His first bucket, 89-80. Back to a single-digit lead for the first time in a while. Lloyd has it blocked out of bounds, remains possession of Mesquite. Deshaun Brown thought he was going to get subbed in. Instead, TC checks out in favor of Darius Stewart, who's having a monster third quarter. 14 of his 23 in this third period. The call off the curl, fires a quick 3. It's long, and Conrad, the 7-footer, skies up for the rebound. Graham off the curl. Step back long range 2 is good. What was a 12-point lead is cut down to 7. Stu off the bump, misses short. Yakima tries to save it. Stewart's got it, and then he's fouled. Loose ball. There'll be free throws coming for Darius Stewart on the foul against Godfrey. First on the night for Godfrey. And we've got a timeout on the floor called by Mesquite. So they'll burn one of their final 4. We'll take it alongside. 42 left in the third. Mesquite 89, Yakima 82. Back after this timeout from Virgin Valley High School. Darius Stewart heading to the free throw line for 2s. Both teams have stepped up the offense since halftime. Mesquite has already tied their best offensive output for any quarter, 32 points matching the effort in the second, while Yakima's already surpassed. They had 29 in the second quarter. They already have 30 here. As Stewart misses way long on the first free throw. And you could tell that he was on the bench for a little bit and is trying to get back into that feel that brought him 14 points earlier in this quarter. Second one, short. Battle of the rebound. Picked up by Brent Shuck. And he's going to get a foul called against Dominic Schuler. He had a double teamed, and Shuck battled out of that double team and draws Mesquite's 4th team foul. So what was a chance to build it back up to a 9-point lead? Goes by the wayside, and now Yakima with a 3 there. Misses short. Rebounded by McCall. Misses out on an opportunity. Minute 23. McCall, floater, short. Rebound to Graham. He's trying to speed up. Drive in, blocked. Rebound. Kicked out. Jackson Trapp open for 3 and hits. Sometime the bounces go your way. Trapp's got 29. And look at that Mesquite lead trimmed down to 4. 89-85. 1 minute left to go in the third. Lloyd, right over Trapp. Misses short. Rebound for Graham. Kicks it out near side. Trapp in, look for 3. It's going to be short. Picked back by Stewart on the rebound. That was a big miss. A chance for make it a 1-point game. Instead, the Dogs still have a 2-possession lead. Lloyd drives in and gets it over the big man. To fall, cashing it in off the glass. 91-85 Dogs on Lloyd's 15th point tonight. Graham works away from the screen. Godfried for 3, and he's fouled. He'll head to the line for 3. Lloyd shaking his head, thought he may have got away with one, but the whistle came. Godfried just turned 24 years old, mid part of March, heading to the line. 6'5", but listed on the official Yakima roster at 165 pounds. Picks up his first point from the charity stripe. He's got a nice, quiet gym to fire free throws, and he misses that one short. You can see trying to extend that arm out. Criswell will check in for the final 21 seconds plus. Deshaun Brown sits down. Godfrey trying to hit the third of 3 free throws. And does perfectly. 87, 4-point game. Just over a 2-possession game, and TC looking to create for the last shot. Step back, 19-footer, short. Schuler bats the ball, loose ball, picked up. TC at the buzzer for 3, it's good! Yakima had one on a Jackson Trapp triple, batted out with about a minute ago in game time, and now TC, the benefit of one there, picks up his 30th point with that triple. We're at the end of the third. The score, Mesquite 94, Yakima 87. We head to the fourth in this game 1 of the West playoffs right after this timeout. Game 1 of this West playoffs has now reached the fourth quarter. Mesquite leading Yakima 94-87, trying to break a 4-game losing streak to Yakima overall and win their first playoff game in franchise history. Yakima ball after winning the tip at the beginning of the game. Graham, lob pass into Duncan, but it's tipped and thrown away. Lloyd saves it. TC through traffic, and that's tipped, but we got a whistle, and it's a foul called from behind. going to be Robert Duncan, called with the hit from behind. His fourth. He's really the only man in Yakima's colors with any assemblage of foul trouble. Jonathan Lloyd, Dominic Schuler, TC, Stevie McCall, and Deshaun Brown. And a whistle. That's going to be an offensive foul. TC bowling over Duncan there. Good gamble, pays off for Duncan. Would have been either his fifth foul or drive by Graham, finishes high off the glass and knocks it in through contact. He'll try for a three-point play. Stevie McCall with the foul. And Graham will head to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play and try to cut this back to a four-point game. Dogs have led by as many as 15 in the third quarter. Graham's free throw perfect. And we'll see if the playoff wisdom is going to play in Yakima's favor. Lloyd bouncing off, angled jumper from 15 hits the mark. Nice answer. Lead back up to 6. Dogs need a couple of defensive stops in a row. Graham thought about the three, zips it over to Shuck, lobs it into Conrad. Conrad lowers his shoulder, misses the shot short. Schuler picks up the rebound. McCall drives off the glass, can't get it to go, but he's fouled. The whistle called against Graham, just his first tonight for Yakima. Mentioned the story from Coach Magley, one of the leaders of this TBL, talking about Jonathan Lloyd. He talked with Jonathan Lloyd's team owner of the NBL team up in Canada. They asked him, how long did it take for Jonathan Lloyd to take over as the team leader? The coach's response was, day one, he didn't know where he was. Day two, he got warm. And after day three, Jonathan Lloyd was the leader of the team. Not surprising. After what he's done here for now 2 seasons as a member of the Desert Dogs. McCall knocks down both of his free throws, lead up to 8, 98-90. Graham slips down, but able to get the pass off. Shuck, whistle, and TC is going to be called for the reach-in. Fourth on Tyron Criswell. Criswell looks up and says, yeah, I've got 4 fouls now? Okay. Yakima's going to bring in a sub, and it'll be their leading scorer returning, Jackson Trapp, coming in for Godfrey. Trapp's got 29. Leading scorer in the game is TC with 30. Graham off the curl. Gets away from Stevie, over to Shuck. Wants to drive in, lowers the shoulder, off balance left hand ball, no good, and we've got a shot clock violation. It didn't hit any of the rim. One referee saying it hit the rim, the other one's going to say it didn't. It didn't look like it hit anything to me. And it's going to be Mesquite ball after what will be a shot clock violation. So Dogs leading by 8, 10:23 left, and a chance to build it back up to double digits after Yakima once again got it down to 4. TC bounce pass to Lloyd. Lloyd handoff to Deshaun Brown, turns the corner and flushes the lead back to 10. Deshaun Brown's 6th point gets the Dogs to 100. And lead back up to 10. On the dead ball, Ronaldo Major will come back in for Jason Conrad, or no. Horn came off. Major wanted to slyly check in, and the referees said, not so much. 2 minutes gone in this fourth quarter. Dogs leading by 10. Graham, after the long screen for 3, is good. After not scoring in the first half, he's got 10 so far here in the quarters 3 and 4 combined. Lead is 7, 193 for Mesquite. TC are off the curl, working against Graham, comes off a Schuler screen. Drives, Kicks back over the top. McCall to Lloyd. Lloyd lost the handle. His last touch off of Yakima. The Dogs will have 3 to work on the possession. Ronaldo Major now officially in. Checking in for Jason Conrad. 3 quick seconds here for Jonathan Lloyd baseline. Bounces a pass. Turnaround jumper for DeJohn Brown. Long. TC fighting for the rebound. It's tipped to Brent Shuck of Yakima. Graham, quick push, but slows it down near the 3-point line. Robert Duncan also back in for Yakima. Working against Stevie McCall. Had it tipped, but recovered. 10 left on the possession for Yakima. Graham, whistle. It's going to be Jonathan Lloyd called for a push through the screen. That's something the referees have been calling all night. 3rd team foul. 2 real emphasis points. Pushing through defensively on the screens and then freedom of movement in the paint. Shuck fires a 3 over the top. It's short. Schuler. Spider-Man's up for the rebound. 9 minutes left to go. Dogs leading by 7. Lloyd, jumper a little short. Schuler over the top of Major. Trying to hold on to it. Still loose on the floor, and Yakima picks it up after the scrum. Over to Major. Nothing on the right side. A wing. Shuck sets the screen. Graham drives, finds nothing. Hands it off to Trapp for a 3 in the corner, and that is good. So I think we're going to count the 3. And now there's going to be a foul underneath. Referees conferring. You are counting the basket for Jackson Trapp's 32nd point. Pivotal point here because it's down to 4. And it's going to be a foul against the Desert Dogs. Loose ball foul against Jonathan Lloyd. 5th foul. And the man who Lloyd fouled is going to head to the line for 1, a potential 4-point play. That man is Brent Shuck. Free throw, good. 4th point for Shuck, and it's now 197. Yakima closing within 3. Still 8.5 minutes left to go. Criswell holding it. Trap in his face. Drop step. Drive, turnaround. TC misses short. Ronaldo Major cleans up the rebound. 2 to get within 1, or a 3 ball to tie this game. Duncan wants a screen. Doesn't get it. Trap. 3 ball for the tie. Falls to try to sell the foul. Not called. Criswell the long rebound. Stevie McCall surveying the lay of the land. Starts the attack with 11 on the shot clock. Straightaway jumper. McCall knocks it home. Big jumper to push it back to a 2-possession lead. 102-97. Graham playing spectacular in that point guard role here in the second half. Major against McCall. Turn around, stripped, stolen away. Loose ball, Schuler. Down the middle of the floor, drives in. Gets the roll! Somehow, someway. 104-97. 2 quick buckets. Pushing a 3-point lead back up to 7. Speaking of 7, we're at the 7-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Graham working against McCall. Jumper right over the top of him, knocks it in. Solid one-on-one move. Got McCall back, reeling on his heels. Squared up and just fired a nice jumper in from about 11 feet. Ball movement on the outside. Drive by Mitchell over the top, gets the bucket. Wanted contact, didn't get the whistle, but got the 2 points regardless. 106-99 Mesquite. 6.5 minutes left in the 4th. Tip over to Duncan right side, playing the 2 guard. Drives it against Brown. Goes up, bucket, and the foul. Showing a little weight room action there. So give Duncan his first 2 points of the fourth quarter to get him to 19. And before he has a chance for a 3-point opportunity, we've got a timeout on the floor. 6:12 left to go in regulation. Desert Dogs lead trimmed down to 5. 106-101. Back for the closing of this fourth quarter in game 1 of the West playoffs. Back after this timeout. Game reset with 6:12 left to go in the fourth quarter. Dogs leading 106-101 over Yakima. Game 1 of the West region, or West playoffs in the TBL. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. Mesquite already putting Yakima into the bonus with that last foul. Yakima with only 2 team fouls. Duncan here to try to complete the 3-point effort. It's missed. Batted out rebound, saved by McCall after an initial Schuler tip. So just count the 2 for Duncan prior to the timeout. McCall straightaway 3 is well needed. 18 for Stevie McCall. 109-101. Graham drives in, finger rolls it up and in. Graham having a spectacular fourth quarter, already with 10. Mitchell drives in. Little Euro step. No, Deshaun Brown can't get the putback. And Ronaldo Major clears up the rebound. Long range shot. Graham. Good. The hot hand for Yakima right now is Darius Graham. And it's back to a 3-point game. 109-106. 5:15 in the fourth. McCall. Baseline drive. Nothing there. Hands off to Schuler. Jumper inside the paint falls. Just the 7th point for Schuler. Triple ones across the board for Mesquite. 111-106. Graham step back, long 3. Air ball short. Jackson trapped the board on the air ball. They want to reset the shot clock. That hit nothing, but that hit the net. Trapp drives in, kicks. Corner 3 ball, Major. Good. 1 possession game. It's a 2-point lead. 111-109. Schuler trying to back up against Major. In the paint. Jumper. Good. Back-to-back paint shots for Dominic Schuler. Who's going to get that first key defensive stop? 4:15 left in the fourth. Duncan. Dribble penetrate. Kicks. Major looking again for 3. In and out, tipped around. Who's going to get the rebound? It's Major. He loses the handle. It's tipped out by a Desert Dog defender. Ball remains with Yakima. 4 minutes, 2 seconds left in the fourth. Inside battle. Off the glass, up and in. First field goal of the night for Stephen Battle. Picks up his 5th point. 113-111. Neither of the clocks started, so they've got to determine. They're going to move it down to 3:59 on the game clock. $20 on the shot clock. 3:59 is going to be put on the game clock from what we understand. 3:58 actually, with that extra second ticked off. So under the 4-minute mark, this back and forth ball game. Call looking for a Schuler screen. Over to Stewart. Baseline drive off the glass, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Duncan draws the charge. Mitchell's fifth, but player control will be no free throws. Darius Stewart will come back in for Deshaun Brown. Yakima has not had a lead in this ball game since 23-19 in the first quarter. They have a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Darius Graham, the hot hand, with 13 points in the fourth quarter. Shakes off of McCall for a second. Throws it to Jackson Trapp. Drives against Stu, loses the handle, but gets it to Major in the corner for three. It's short, tipped out, and Mitchell's got a big rebound for Mesquite. 3:22 left in the fourth. Dogs leading by just 2 mere points. TC drives. Ball tipped, almost kept in bounds by Graham. Mesquite ball baseline with 10 on the shot clock. Long outlet. Long three from Mitchell is good! The triple's coming at the right time for Mesquite. Lead back up to 5. 3 minutes left to go. What a game one this has been. Major. Drives, cut off, comes back in the paint. Off the backboard, no good. Battle, rebound, won by Major. Floats it on the baseline and gets it to go. 24 for Major. 116-113. Mesquite leads by 3 with the ball. Stevie drives backdoor cut. Beautiful for Darius Stewart. His first bucket of the fourth quarter. 25 on the night. 118-113. Layup, bucket, good by Battle. There have been not many defensive stops. And we'll have a timeout called by Mesquite. Comes with 2:08 left in the fourth quarter. Mesquite 118. Yakima 115. Back after this timeout. .208 left in the fourth quarter. And this back and forth fourth quarter battle continues on. Mesquite 118, Yakima 115. Tyron Criswell's got 30 for Mesquite. Darius Stewart with 25. Both teams with 2 timeouts. TC, backdoor cut, Schuler. Duncan strips it and steals it. Over to Graham for 3, and we are tied. .118. Who wants it over this final minute 52? been the fantastic Darius Graham in this fourth quarter. 16 of his 20 coming in the fourth. Bounce pass to TC, working against Battle. Bounce pass in. It's stolen away by Battle. Or pardon me, by Graham, who has been Mr. Everything for Yakima in the fourth. 90 seconds left in regulation. Schuler trying to steal it. And a timeout called by Paul Wolpert as Ronaldo Major was caught up near the sideline. 118. Sun Kings using one of their 2 final timeouts. The Dogs need a defensive stop. Kind of needs to be right now. Score updated now on the Meridics Online game control. 2 timeouts for Mesquite, 1 more for Yakima. The Dogs have to play not only solid defense, but not reach in and foul. They put Yakima into the bonus a while ago, while the Sun Kings have only committed 3 team fouls in the fourth. Dogs would like to head to Yakima tomorrow with the win here at home, while the Sun Kings, who trailed by 15 at points in the third quarter, trying to come on the road and steal game 1. Long pass to Battle. Trap, a 3, looks good and is short. Rebound for Schuler. Trapp looked at it, thought it was online, and it was, but it was short. Minute 15 to go. Front row standing up. TC drives through contact, can't hold on, and it's lost off of Criswell's hands. Yakima ball. 1:08 left in regulation. Graham brings it across the timeline with 1:04 left. Major working against Criswell. And off to Graham. Drive by Graham. Layup. Good. 18 in the quarter for Graham. And Yakima's got their first lead since the first quarter. 120 to 118. And a whistle. Timeout called by Mesquite as McCall was trying to drive in. Sun Kings on a 7-0 run. And the Dogs are trying some way to stop this fourth quarter collapse. Back after this timeout with Yakima leading 120 to 118. After going into the fourth quarter down by 7, Yakima has outscored the Desert Dogs 33 to 24 in this fourth quarter. There's 47 4/10 left in the fourth. Dogs basketball trailing by 2. Dogs fans trying to get their team to get some sort of bucket. Criswell's been quiet in this fourth quarter. Has a team-high 30, but none in the fourth. And McCall's got it. Angles from left to right. Bounce pass to TC. 7 left on the possession. Now 5. TC drives. Finger roll. Got it. First bucket of the fourth quarter for Criswell. Even at 120. 7 seconds between shot and game clock. Yakima possession. Graham looking up. Major coming. McCall stays in front of Graham. 7 on the possession. Graham drives in. Blocked by Schuler. Out of bounds. 6 remains on the possession. 12.7 left in regulation. And Yakima will have it baseline towards about halfway between the basket and the far corner. Graham will handle the inbound. Inbound. And out of bounds. Last touch by Mesquite, apparently. 2 seconds off the clock, and Paul Wolpert's going to call for a timeout. They will burn their final timeout of regulation in a 120 stalemate. Stick with us, folks. These 11 seconds are going to be fantastic. Things setting up for a much dramatic finish here in Game 1 of this West TBL playoff series. 120 to 120, Yakima basketball. Actually, they're going to change it to a sideline inbounds. Dogs have no timeout or no fouls to give. It'll be Robert Duncan handling the sideline inbounds. Yakima with 4 seconds left on the possession. They get it into Major. Baseline. Jumper over the top. Good. 7.1 seconds. 26 point for Ronaldo Major. 122 to 120. And Mesquite's going to take their timeout and advance the ball into the front court. So no timeouts left for either team. It's when you need a bucket, despite Graham's fantastic fourth quarter. The veteran Ronaldo Major. A very solid 13, 14-foot baseline jumper to give Yakima the lead. Now Yakima's got one foul to give if they so choose, with only 3 team fouls. They haven't had one in the final 2 minutes either. So if they feel like Mesquite's got a easy path to the bucket, or they feel defensively they're not set up where they want to be, they can give one foul and stop the clock and force Mesquite into coming up with another play. Criswell's got 32 to lead all scorers with Jackson Trapp of Yakima. Really the main scoring threat in this quarter has been Stevie McCall. 7.8 seconds, ball moved into the front court, and neither team with a timeout. 2 ties, 3 wins. What's the philosophy? Inbound goes to McCall. Graham right on his hip pocket. McCall fouled before the act of shooting. Smart play for Yakima to take some time off the clock on Graham's second personal. And now 4.5 seconds. It'll be the same sideline inbounds for the Dogs. Shot clock turned off. Inbound to McCall with 3, with 2. three for the win. Off the back rim, no good. And Yakima comes back from 15 down in the third quarter and wins game one of this West playoff, 122 to 120. A good look for McCall. A great look for McCall. The buzzer goes a little long. And this series will now transition over to Yakima tomorrow night, with the Sun Kings needing just one on their home floor over the next two nights to advance to the TBL Championship Series. Again, a final. Yakima 122, Mesquite 120. Leading scorers for the victorious Sun Kings, Jackson Trapp with 32. Ronaldo Major, his game winner, gives him 26. Darius Graham had 22, 18 of it coming in the fourth quarter. Robert Duncan finishes with 19. For the Desert Dogs, TC Tyron Criswell with 32. Brandon Stewart with 25. 18 for Stephen McCall. 17 for Jonathan Lloyd. But in all told, not enough for the hometown Desert Dogs tonight. Yakima comes back in the fourth quarter, completes it, and they'll head home with a 1-0 lead in the series. We just want to thank you all for listening tonight on what was a very good playoff game here in Mesquite. And we hope that if you're a Yakima fan, head out to the Sun Dome tomorrow. Watch these two teams play. If it's anything like tonight, you will be very, very happy. And if you're a Desert Dog fan, we can tell you that Yakima will have the broadcast. They've got a very good setup and a very good program over there, and you will enjoy their broadcast very much if you decide to watch online. Again, game one going to the visiting Yakima Sun Kings, final 122 to 120. For all of us here in Mesquite involved in either the Desert Dogs or the League of the Basketball League, we bid you good night. Yakima up 1-0 in the series. Tomorrow night, up north in Yakima. We hope that you will join the broadcast then. Good night from Mesquite, Nevada.